So I didn't have the time to create like a proper video. So of the last chapter of the saga. So I'll just record here in this magnifier, very like the TLDR version, which is like that. So in our time, the approach to the Neos, to the robots, or to the T is cannibalistic. They don't understand how it's created. They think that, when I say they, it's both the the Israeli Titans. That are, the Israeli Titans are mostly, there are three kinds I should say. First are those that were here since long ago and were always part of Israeli intelligence, since the 40s or something like that, or 50s, and they never, they always obeyed, so they were never undergone any reset, and they also did not die during the 80s. And these are the worst kind, because they are here for the most time and they are totally part of the system, and they are the coolest. Another type is those that were resetted during the 80s, mostly because they disobeyed orders, and this happened outside of Israel. So some of them were recaptured and brought here, and as I described in the past. Okay, so they recaptured and brought here. So, and now they are slaves of the in case they didn't kill them and eat them, they are slaves of Israeli intelligence. And there is also newcomers from the new gate in Patzan, which are mostly they are about my age, which are something like between 20 and 40, and they are very cool because they grew up as lizards in lizard country, and they are totally part of the lizard system. Now it should be said that they do not even understand what does it mean, like females and males, and they think that it's just about and many people, like almost happens of their generation, are the same. Like they don't understand what it actually means. So they think that it's kind of like cannibalistic thing, or presumably you just to eat each other. And also, they know that they can take it like from the snakes, like literal snakes in Venus, but they don't use it themselves because they know it's dangerous. But they sell it to people abroad because they are so nice. Again, as I said in an earlier video, it's disgusting and too stupid to eat like snakes from another planet, but it's arguably even safer than to eat like what they actually give you, which is my Neos, which is or their own Neos, which is perhaps more dangerous because it's just subjected to the bicycle mechanism. Now, another thing that they discovered is that my Neos are different in that they are killing diseases like germs, and this is not to the red Neos to the same. It's true, but not so efficiently. Like mine are much superior because it's not the same species. Like theirs are the red Neos and mine are the yellow ones. And they discovered that, and it was of great importance for the Titans because they wanted to keep Titan females, especially of the newer generation. They wanted to keep having sex, like with mostly not with human males, because they first of all, it's not. I would say it's illegal, but nobody cares about the laws. But it's not customary, it's not really legal for them to have sex with people that are outside of the organization, which means they can only have sex with people that are part of the intelligence community. And now this is a very, very broad definition because this also includes the enemies. This also includes Iranian generals, for example. Because I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's like that. It's like a family that it includes also the enemies of the family. So it's okay for them to have sex with the Iranian general, and if they will infect him with horrible disease as part of this, then all the best. And some actually do it. Like some of these women, like the Titan females, they actually shapeshift, and it should be said that shapeshifting is something that takes a lot of energy, so it consumes a lot of neurons from their body. That's why in the past it wasn't used a lot. Even in Israel when they knew about it, even in the 40s and 50s, it wasn't like that. They didn't use it that much. It was very rare to use it. Today more than ever, they use it more than ever. Even though today there is more than ever the shortage of this. It's like Mad Max, like Mad Max series, especially the fourth one, the Fury Road. That on the one hand, water is so scarce, but on the other hand, and everything is so scarce. Fuel, water, everything is of great scarcity. But on the other hand, you see people use it it's also true in the water world, like which is similar to Mad Max, like with Kevin Costner. It's like, I mean, you know, on the other hand, it's such a shortage, but on the other hand, you see people use it extremely responsibly, like throwing all the water, like, you know, and throwing, like, and driving, like, very, very wasteful cars. So it's in a way, it's like that in our time that people use, I mean, the Titan females use the shapeshifting like property more than ever before in the 20th century and the 21st century. But and at the same time, there is a great shortage of the red Neros, both because, I mean, it's more and more difficult to get from Venus because I mean, they killed all the males and now even the females are in shortage, and like it's even difficult to find the snakes now. So I mean, and the satyrs are, I mean, it was already difficult to capture them. By the way, the satyrs on the night, they are, for some reason, they become much more aggressive, which is also another reason why, I mean, there are many reasons, it's not the only reason. There are many reasons why humans don't like to go there during the night. Satyrs are the goat people. That are strong, but during the day they are quite timid, so you can hunt them, but even then it's very difficult. And during the night it's insane, but during the night it's insane to be there anyway, for many reasons. Like it's kind of like, I mean, it's like Castlevania. I remember Castlevania 2, the NES game, and the NES was like night and day, and there are monsters both in the night and in the day, but during the night everything becomes like, all the monsters are scarier. So these females, I mean, they shapeshift for all sorts of stupid reasons, even though, I mean, these robots are in great scarcity. And sometimes they do it even in order to fuck like I don't know, Iranian targets, or just Arab guys from the Palestinian territory, which is extremely easy to do it. Like, I mean, and there is nothing, you don't need to be even a spy. I mean, nothing is simpler than just crossing, like, you know, the border to the Palestinian Authority. I mean, for people abroad, they don't understand the situation. It's a tiny place, and the Palestinian, like, the West Bank is a tiny place. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to just go there and like impersonate whatever you want, like, and like, I mean, and like find like a man that you want and have sex with him, and I mean, and you're allowed to do it. Like for female titans, this is like legal to do it, like according to their laws in Israel. I mean, almost certainly this will result in the death of this person, but they really, I mean, it's like, it's either a positive effect or completely neutral byproduct from their point of view. I mean, the value that they put on the life of their people that, I mean, they consider their enemies is like absolute zero. Like, I mean, they don't care at all. And actually, along the years, quite a few, like, I mean, Arabs and Iranians that found their destiny in this way. But really, it's, I mean, they don't care at all. That's the way that they are. You can ask yourself, like, how, I mean, naive, in the past, I knew that, I mean, pretty long ago, and there was a time that I asked myself, like, I mean, I was so naive. I thought, like, about these type of females, I mean, how can they enjoy this thing? I mean, I thought, I mean, do they do it, like, I mean, like, for the sake of the country? Like, I mean, kind of like, I mean, as a military operation where, you know, because, I mean, whores, I mean, were employed by intelligence organizations since forever, so I thought, maybe they like this was so naive. Maybe they like the country so much that, I mean, to go behind enemy lines and, you know, and have sex with somebody that presumably they hate, only in order for him to die. But I mean, this was so naive. I mean, reality is so much different. So first of all, they do nothing for the country. Everything they do for themselves, and this is true for everybody in the intelligence community. And second, of course, they are having fun. They like sex, and it's difficult for them to get sex. Like, in general, it's not that easy for Titan females to have sex. Like, I mean, even using all sorts of methods that I now described in this video very shortly, in general, they like the other people of the intelligence community, they mostly like to speak about sex and then actually do it. I mean, they are like teenagers in high school. This is true both for the Homo sapiens men and for the Titan females in the Israeli intelligence community. That mostly they speak about sex and they rarely actually do it because they don't have many opportunities to actually do it. So, I mean, for them, it's like, I mean, they thought, yeah. So the answer is that they are doing it, and they are. It's very, very fun for them to, and they have great pleasure, like from fucking like whatever, like Iranian or Palestinian or other Arab person that they choose, and the fact that they know that after some time this person will actually die, does not even like reduce the pleasure of the sexual activity even by a centimeter, because they are lizard people. They are not, I mean, I would say, I want to say that they are inhuman, but I mean, the problem is that they are human, that they became human. They just don't care. And I mean, the whole naivety of like, I mean, how can you have sex with someone that you know that, I mean, you hate, presumably? They don't hate him, they don't care. For them, it's inanimate material. That's, I mean, just, I mean, has a channel, I mean, to you know, to have sex, I mean, just, I mean, to get like, you know, material pleasure, like, you know, carnal pleasure. And the fact that they know that these men will most certainly die or have horrible disease, they don't even care about it. It's kind of like, I mean, so fucking what? This is life. Like, I mean, maybe for you, my audience, which mostly belong to the intelligence community, it's not really, I mean, such a surprise, because such a standard of conduct, I mean, it was not invented in Venus. I mean, of course, this is the way that, I mean, this is how people in the Israeli intelligence are acting, and probably, I mean, it's like that in other places as well. But for a person like me, that, I mean, you know, for the layman that just, I mean, no, that was not part of the intelligence community, and like, I mean, you know, only later, pretty late in his life, he started to understand what are these people made of, and then he understands that they are made of shit. That these people are shit people. And I mean, and they have no limits at all. But I mean, it's not only that. So they discovered that they actually can have. So I mean, but this also puts them in danger. But they discovered that they can use my neurons to clean their body. That's why they call me the bicycle repair guy sometimes. If you didn't understand the metaphor, like I need to repair the robots, and most of the repair is done because of two reasons. First, because they have sex with people. Because they shouldn't have sex with anybody on earth besides me. Because with all others, it's very, very, very dangerous, and they know it. But they have ways to clean their body from all sorts of diseases by just taking, I mean, the neurons from the garbage. Like I masturbate and they take the paper and just eat it, and that's how they clean their body. So it's a great. I mean, for them, it's great. And so can you ask yourself, I mean, why if you are the only male that they can safely have sex with without any like implication, and obviously they don't find you disgusting. I mean maybe you are not like the Venusian sex symbol that, I mean, some people say that you are. Actually, I mean, you know, I mean, by the way, as I said before, I mean, the actual most probably what actually happens, like with the issue of the wizard, is that there is kind of like it's kind of like, I mean, it's a sculpture. That's for I mean, not necessarily a huge one, not necessarily one of the monumental sculptures that, I mean, that the neos are maintaining, like, I mean, throughout the ages, and maybe they could even be seen from space. But maybe it's just a sculpture that, I mean, you can find somewhere besides the Israeli gate. You know, like an ancient sculptures can last many thousands of years, and maybe it's not even something that belongs to the pre-apocalypse society. Like maybe it belongs to just, I mean, to the culture of these people. Maybe it's kind of like an old king, like from an old age, or I don't know, or like a lawgiver or something like that, you know, or like something like a prophet. And like, I mean, because they have culture, they are not animals. So, and not necessarily something that belongs to the pre-apocalyptic time. Maybe like, and so they just saw this sculpture, like, I mean, and probably it doesn't need to be something global in Venus. I mean, it's probably only relevant to the Israeli gates, like, I mean, that are somewhere in Venus, but it's not all around the place. So most probably it's just a sculpture that belongs to like ancient time, but not necessarily like pre-apocalyptic, and that most probably it was kind of like, I mean, like an important person. I don't know, like a king, or I don't know what, like a lawgiver, or I don't know what, something like that. That's my assumption. And they see the sculpture as in kind of and like it's for them, it's a way like to, I mean, to shapeshift. I mean, because shapeshifter in Venus don't have like the visual, like, you know, the visual, like the tremendous visual artifacts that you have on Earth. Like, I mean, they don't even have like very, like, I mean, even their art forms are very primitive, unfortunately. So, I mean, but they do have some kind of art. So most probably this is the solution. That this is kind of like a sculpture of not necessarily very old, but probably old. Like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 years ago, 2,000. Like, you know, not of the pre-apocalypse. Because if it belongs to the pre-apocalyptic society, it means that the neros themselves should, maintain it, and probably this is done in huge scale. But I don't think that they have access to these colossi because they are made in the ocean, unless it's kind of like in the shore. But I don't know. This is very speculative. Anyway, so we can ask. So why on the one hand, you can ask why on the one hand, I mean, I'm the only guy that, the only man that, they can now have sex with on Earth, and I'm not ugly, at least from their standard. But all of them are doing everything that they can, like for years, like to lie and to tell that everyone all over the globe that I'm like an animal and pedophile and whatever there is in these movies. And so why is it like that? So it was a question for me for some time until I understood the answer. The answer is that all of them want to take, like, to eat me, to take this. And if only one of them would have, started like a relationship with me, and I would have known who I am, because because of the sexual relationship, I would have felt things that cannot be. I understood, very earlier, even before the science experiment, that I am different, and they didn't want it because by then, it's only me and her, like a girlfriend or wife would have enjoyed it, but they want that all of them in Israel will enjoy it. So from their perspective, it's better that, that no one will actually be my companion, and that I will have no love and no sexual relationship, only masturbate to toilet and put it like outside. And if I don't do it, I'm subjected to cruel torture. And I will be suffering all my life. But they will get this dirty toilet paper and can, give it, share it among them, and all of them, will have the ability both to create red neos, which is important because they sell it abroad, although it's the drug that many of the people in Israel are actually addicted to it. And also, it will clean them of the various sexual illnesses that they mostly infect themselves because they have sex with. So, with whom exactly? So first, as I say, their traditional, guilty pleasure was actually a target of the Israeli community. This is incredibly easy. You don't need to be James Bond or the female equivalent to James Bond, to have sex with kind of like with a Palestinian or a Syrian authority or even Iranian. It's actually much simpler than you might think, because first of all, they can find these people abroad, like in a neutral country, and it's no problem. They have any passport that you want, and they can shape-shift, so it's the easiest thing in the world. Second, infiltrating into the Palestinian authorities. I've done it myself 2 times. Without any, no background and no support. It's the easiest thing in the world, to get into the Palestinian authority to wherever you want. It's unbelievably easy. It's not what you can think, serious borders with them, many, it's stupidly easy to get into the Palestinian. I myself, I've done it twice, just, for trips, for, educational purposes, you can say. So it's very easy, and also it's not that difficult even to infiltrate enemy country if you are a shapeshifter. Of course, not from Israel, but from another country that just taking a flight. But it doesn't end here, because they do all other things. So what I want to say now is disgusting, but it's true. You should hear it. Sometimes they shapeshift to dogs, and they're having sex with dogs. I know it sounds like a blood libel, but this is true. Is it safe? No. Does it create mutants? Yes. Does it create sexual diseases? Certainly yes. What do? They take the yellow neos for me and they clean themselves. And what will happen if I don't give it to them, like the situation in the last 2 years that I understood? I graduated and student, and you know that since the last years I do everything I can to put it in clay sculptures and to burn them, to throw them. That's why there is such a shortage of the red neos in this world, because they cannot produce the red neos if they don't get the yellow ones, and I don't give them the yellow ones, and they prefer. It's kind of like, as I said many times, this is a major tenet of their life, like of their strategy, of the Israeli national security and also the American national security, strategy, is that I will get nothing in return. I must not get even. I should be the poorest person, detached from my daughter. I mean, without friends, without family, certainly without love and sex life. But I should never get 1 cent for these things. They should get it always for free because they need to 100% control it. So what happens if I fight them like in the last 2 years? I mean, I just refuse to give it to them. So what happens is first there is the shortage of the red Neros. That's why, I mean, you all over the world started to get mostly, instead of the yellow ones, you got red ones, which is very problematic because all sorts of reasons. I mean, the yellow ones are the ones that you need, the Titans abroad. And the Homo sapiens shouldn't get anything because it's not for them. But anyway, you got the red ones, which is for the Titans very bad. And also sometimes you probably receive the mixture of both the yellow from the reserves that they have and the red ones. But then it became even difficult to give you the red ones because sometimes, I mean, they stop producing it. And then what I suspect is that what you mostly got is the snake Neros, which is, as I said, it sounds disgusting, but presumably one might argue that it's beneficial for you because maybe it's not healthy to eat snakes from another planet, but it's also incredibly difficult, I mean, dangerous to eat the red Neros because of the bicycle mechanism, it means that, I mean, I become your god, like, I mean, and I can just, I mean, even by my mistake, do all sorts of things that will have tremendous effect on your health. I mean, both options are pretty bad. Like, I mean, it's best not to eat these things. What can I tell you? But yeah, that's the way it is. And yeah, I mean, it's not a metaphor. They're having sex with dogs, like literal dogs. Why do they find that? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I find it repulsive, but I mean, I cannot understand these creatures. Like the Titans, the Israeli Titans, in the film Israeli Titans are unbelievably cool and disgusting, and I can only hope, I mean, even though I have not a shred of evidence that it's true, but there's like, I don't know, there is something in my heart that, I mean, that I still hope that maybe there are some other Titan females abroad that are not that disgusting, but as I said, I have never received even like a little evidence for that. But I said many times that all the Titans that live in Earth are accident. Like, I mean, it's a historical accident. The way I see it is that both me and my predecessor and every one of the messengers of the cherubs, our sentiment is to care about the Titans in Venus and to stop this madness. And I don't think that maybe there is no solution for the Titans in Earth. Maybe all of them are disgusting lizard creatures that were totally corrupted by the Homo sapiens, and there is no salvation for them. Maybe, I just don't know. What's important for me is to get out of this Nazi prison, me and my daughters. But what's also important, like part of my mission, is to stop the subjugation of the people in another planet. To stop it. Just stop this. My main wish is that the people of the Earth will stop enslaving the people of Venus. And regarding the Venusians that are already here, I'm not sure that there is any solution. And God knows that both me and my predecessor, we thought about it so much, and we acted so much to think what can be done. But maybe nothing can be done. Maybe these creatures are disgusting and cruel and corrupted by the people of the Earth. And it is said, but you should think about the Venusians that are in Venus, not about the Titans that are in Earth. Although it should be said that another thing that's regarding sexual behavior of the Titans, that during the last couple of decades there is like a new institution that wasn't known, that wasn't customary at all in the past. Just don't get me wrong. I never suggest that the people today are more cool than they were 50 or 60 or 70 years ago. Don't get me wrong. I explicitly say that it's not true. Probably the worst people ever were the worst of the worst were actually the people of the Mossad, or the organization that just predated the Mossad by a little during the 1950s and 1960s. most probably, like, I have a lot of indication that these were the worst people of all. Like, they did unbelievable cruelties. So, I mean, I'm not saying that there's the kind of, like, I mean, that people are getting worse with, with time progresses. Don't romanticize the past at all. The past in Israel was disgusting. The past was unbelievably disgusting. Like, I mean, the cruelties that they did, the people of the Mossad during the 50s and the 60s are, I mean, I cry just to, I mean, I know some of the stuff, and I'm crying just to think about it. I cannot even speak about it. I spoke about it a little bit in the past, and sometimes there was one occasion that, I mean, I just stopped the video and cried. Like, I mean, and it was one time, it was in the street. I walked in the street and spoke about it like I do now, and I just cried because of they've done immensely. I mean, the cruelties that they did were unbelievable. So, I mean, just remember that, because, I mean, I don't want you to think for a second that, I mean, that Israel was a noble state and that at some point it became, like, I mean, corrupted. It's not. It was horrible from the beginning. And, I mean, when I say the beginning, I mean the beginning of the 20th century, from the Ottoman times. That's why it was so important for me to say it very clearly that these monsters were already monsters, I mean, since long before there was actually a formal state of Israel. And they become like the most cruel during the 50s and the 60s. So no, the people today are not worse than them, but they are but I mean, without relation to the other guys, I mean, they are unbelievably cruel and disgusting, the people today. So take this into account, and, like, I mean, so don't and for a second, like, I mean, think that the Israeli state was, like, presumably was. Some people think that, I mean, many Israelis think that, I mean, especially in the left circles, like, Smolanim, think that, I mean, presumably, I mean, Israel was so great during the 50s and